So
What up?
that's what I was saying
Mhm.
about AI. So I had this idea or just this
Yeah,
kind
what
of
do you think?
mindset. I was thinking about AI when it was first coming out. I was really thinking,
Hmm.
I don't really want to use AI because what if I get too dependent on it and then something bad happens and it just goes away. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more and I realized that's how people thought of cell phones
Or the internet in general.
or the internet.
Oh yeah.
It's the same mindset. So I'm like, if I have that mindset now,
Yeah.
it did back then, and now cell phones are are much more technically advanced.
Yeah.
Hope I'm using that word right. Um, then it's just irrational. So I started to implement more AI. I'm learning more about AI, and um, in college, I did a whole research paper on AI, mostly about accounting. But um, yeah,
Yeah.
man,
We gotta
it,
adapt because
yeah.
like Blockbuster died, Toys R Us died, Hollywood Video died. All these
I
people,
remember Blockbuster. I had one near
all these people. Yeah.
my old house in San Diego. Man, it
Yeah.
was the place.
Bro, it died. Netflix took over. So the new thing, the wave.
Oh, do you know why though, right?
Yeah. What?
It's not what people may think. It's not because they hit the TV market or streaming platform first.
No, man.
That's not why at all. Actually, it was because of the 2008 crash and Blockbuster. Blockbuster was leading in videotapes, CDs. They were basically a monopoly, if you want to think of it that way. And Netflix was just right behind them. After the 2008 crash, they had a big bill come up that they couldn't afford. So the CEO made the decision to sell the business so that
Hmm.
that wouldn't affect and basically kill everybody's pockets. And so they went under because of that big bill that came due to the fact of the 2008 crash. And that's why they fell. It wasn't because of the stream.
Oh, so literally it was the crash then. It wasn't technology.
Yep.
Well, they couldn't pay their debt then. Basically, they went bankrupt, right?
Yeah, I think they had like $1 billion debt and
Dang.
they weren't expecting it to be called. So, but when the crash happened, everybody wanted their money. And they were like, well, we don't have $1 billion, dude. But what we
They
can
had
do,
it was a billion?
I don't know if it was a billion, but it was a substantial amount of money
Oh,
that they just didn't have. And so they had to sell the business in order to pay that off.
damn, we will never know how that feels, man. But you gotta be ready, dude, according to the book.
Well, I don't want to have to feel that,
Dude,
lose my entire company because of a crash. That sucks. But it would be awesome to know that our company is worth a lot of money, as it will be in the future. I
mm,
see it. I see it being pretty substantial, helping tons, thousands of millions of people. I see it, maybe give a few $1 million to charity. That's a goal of mine, actually.
oh yeah, there's so much in giving back, dude.
Well, I
There's
wrote it
so
down.
much.
It's $1 million. I want to give away $1 million to one of the charities in my choice sometime in my life.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would be very powerful.
Yeah. But
Because you have so much excess, you have so much um excess to give that you're already up there that you can give. You have the ability to give a 1 million. If you even have the ability to give 1 million, it means you have a lot more than that.
and
That's what it means. You know?
exactly. The
Yeah.
philosophy that I subscribe to is this
Abundance.
abundance, but this is the reason why I choose the path to success, regardless of all the obstacles and challenges I have having to face. And it comes from Jim Rohn. It doesn't matter about the amount of money that I'm going to make. That is just a given. What matters more to me is becoming the person worthy enough to be able to have that money.
Yeah.
And then I just give it away. Because think about it. It's a person who is broke, let's say
Yeah, you can't.
$0, they're living under a bridge. Okay,
Yeah.
you have that. And now you think of someone who is worth $10 million, who has a bunch of real estate. Both are human beings, both have the same value in the sight of God,
Yeah.
except one is more valuable in the marketplace because of personality traits, because of built components that they have done within their life, and the other person just doesn't have that. And that is more gravitating to me. Like I want to be the person worthy to have that so that I can help more people because it's more than just money. Your family is going to benefit from it. Obviously the financial, but think about the type of person that you could be for your family if you worked on yourself. And that's why I think that this book is awesome because discipline is truly destiny. I mean, it's hard as fuck, but
Yeah.
you know,
So in what
that's
ways,
the
man?
sacrifice.
Yeah, in what ways can you become that person that's even valuable enough to give away 1 mil, right? To an organization. Like I'm already thinking, I need to give a lot away, right? So how do you become that person, man? Like what do you feel? How do you feel
Um,
become that?
so I can really only speak on how I work through things, but
Yeah, I'm interested.
you need to sweat the small stuff. You need to sweat the small stuff, but only the right stuff.
Damn.
And here's what I mean by that. Everyone has a finite amount of energy. As soon as you wake up, you have 100% your battery charge, or maybe some people wake up with 85%. Just depends on your night before. Using that energy wisely is what's going to dictate how successful you're going to be in whatever endeavor. And what I mean by that is if you're giving your energy to everything, you're paying attention to every single little detail,
Yeah.
then in turn, you don't have enough energy to pour all of your energy into the thing that truly matters.
Oh yeah.
You know, that could be your fitness, that could be your podcast, that could be, maybe you want to be a social media influencer, maybe you want to be getting more promotions at work, maybe you want to be the number one engineer, maybe you want to meet Elon. All
Hmm.
these things happen through a process. And sometimes it takes all of your energy. And if you don't do that, if you don't allocate all of your energy to what truly matters, you're leaving some on the table when you don't have to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and even if you don't control that where that energy goes, you're always reactive to the next thing that, like all humans are reactive because they're born to react. You're
Yeah,
given you're given
we're monkeys.
yeah, you're given
Um,
a treat from your dad or your mom when you're born, and then you react to it. But you got to unlearn that system of reacting, and you got to control how you react. And that's the hardest thing ever. It really is. So,
that's why I love Stoicism so much, man.
oh man, I love the philosophy, dude.
When I first found Stoicism, it was it was like anything I've ever heard before.
Uh,
I never heard anyone speak about Stoicism, never heard anyone talk about Stoicism. And so I just started diving into it with like soldiers and Marines and warfare.
hell yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
would say the last couple years I met, Ryan Holiday, who really dived into Stoicism. And so now I'm reading all of their books as we are. Before that,
Yeah.
I was reading a lot about Robert Greene
Robert
book.
Greene, his mentor, by the way. That's why you gravitated toward it.
Yeah, Robert Greene is Ryan Holiday's mentor. And Stoicism is much more than just being strong brawn.
Hmm.
Being a Stoic means keeping a level head through the conflict, through the confrontation that you have
Hmm.
throughout your whole life. We're given these challenges, and they are all opportunities. The obstacle is the way.
Hmm.
And being a Stoic means you're able to handle your shit without
Yeah.
escalating anything. And that means not escalating things for other people, but also not escalating your own emotional regulation.
Yeah. It's a great philosophy, in my opinion, for everyone to just like think about what you're thinking about, and then it creates a better outcome for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Leave a comment if you believe that Stoicism is one of the top philosophies out there. And if you don't agree, leave a comment of the philosophy that you do subscribe to. I'm very curious, and we're gonna take a look at them. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I want to see
A bunch of people's
what
philosophy.
other schools of thought do you guys follow, and how come?
Yeah.
How come that one speaks to you more?
What's more important is actually understanding it's more important to have a philosophy.
Than to just be going around the dark with reacting to everything, right?
It's more important to have a philosophy than it is choosing which philosophy to have.
Mm.
And
Tell me
here's
more about that.
here's what I mean. Like I would say a lot of young guys, probably early 20s, late 20s, and even early 30s,
Mm.
when you don't have a philosophy to work within, it's really difficult for you to achieve anything.
Yeah,
It's not because you're not capable. It's not because like you were born handicapped, in some way of your in your life. Not at
yeah.
all, actually. It's because you need a framework to work within. You
Mhm.
need a way of looking through your perspective and to decide what is worth your time, your energy, and your life. And so, what a philosophy does for a person is it builds this box, but it's not a cage. This
Mhm.
box is your playground to move within. It's how you take in information and decide, you know what, yeah, that makes sense to me, or this doesn't really make any sense. And it's the same way of having a kid and teaching them and guiding them. When kids are small, and when kids are very small and they're growing up, I think we all hear the terrible twos for all our parents out there. Uh, they push your buttons. They're testing the boundaries. They
Yeah,
they want to see where the line is before mom or dad snaps at them, gets mad. Kids can be annoying little fucks, but
yeah,
they're trying to find that barrier so that once they find it, they know, okay, I don't do this because then I'll get yelled at. But I can do these other things, and mom and dad will not yell at me. They'll play.
yeah. So they stay within the boundaries
Yeah,
of,
and it helps them become a more oriented person.
yeah, their only leader that they look up to is you. So you got to be studying like some type of movement or philosophy at the time you even have a. I mean, sometimes you don't even have a philosophy to follow, but you're going to figure it out when you have a kid, you know.
And that's a horrible time to figure out a philosophy. I just had a kid. I need to figure out how I
Oh
operate so
man.
I can help this little person
It's
operate.
unfortunate though, because like you see a lot of people though, they have kids at the whim.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But you
the
know, we have to humble ourselves because I don't know what it's like, bro. Not
you know
yet.
we don't know what it's like because we don't have kids, but we know what it's like because we were a kid. And so to a certain degree, we do have all of us have authority on to speak, on what could have been better in our childhood. What did we notice? What did we see?
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
how the things that we're going to change as when we're a parent, you know. Uh, every parent is not going to be perfect. I mean, it's just a fantasy. Um, but having a philosophy is super important. Super important. Find one that fits your values because it creates an independent thinking. What do you think about that? Like philosophy, yeah, it gives you a framework, but it also teaches you how to be an independent person.
Yeah. Um, I think I think stoicism has really taught me so far the past 12 weeks, or no, we've been having this podcast for 12 weeks, but
Damn.
we've been on, we've been on, yeah, that's like a whole fitness program, guys.
Yeah, for real.
But stoicism for this, I mean, the book, Discipline is Destiny, The Power of Self-Control, for the past 2 weeks has just taught me to own my shit,
To
um,
own yourself.
to
Yeah.
own yourself, to
Mm.
wake up. Like they talk about everything from sleep to fitness to the what you eat. And for me, I've set all these things in place for myself as a fitness person. At one point, my philosophy was I believe in fitness.
Hey, that's
That's
a good
it.
philosophy to have. It's a healthy one.
Hey, nothing wrong with
You know, it's better than I believe
that,
in heroin.
right? Yeah, so I believe in fitness, but then surprisingly, stoicism and fitness coincide. They correlate together.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm attracted to this philosophy so much, is because when you after you're done working out, your mind is just way more clear. And I think there was a reel that I was watching that if you if you if you take care of your body, like if you are lean, you're gonna have more energy. If you have more energy,
mhm.
you're gonna be able to do more things. If you do more things, like everything just compounds off of fitness.
Absolutely. And it's even beyond physical. Like it helps clear all that
Helps
gunk,
clear, yeah.
all that doubts and insecurities. Sometimes it just is because you don't enjoy looking at yourself in the mirror. And so you're so hard on yourself. But when you get fit and you start to look at yourself in the reflection and notice, hey, I look pretty damn good. Okay.
Hey
Then
man,
this
yeah.
aura, you carry around this aura
Yeah,
that just bleeds into everything else in your life.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, matter of fact, people treat you differently when
Oh
you get
God.
fit.
Yeah, okay. One time I was going in the elevator. My wife and I were in the elevator, and then one guy was like, just passed me by, like, I want to look like that guy. And he was pointing at me, and I was like, really? Yeah.
I was like, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny,
Dude,
man. I
that's
didn't even try. Like, I didn't even, okay, cool, man. Like, that was a sales opportunity, and I walked away. Just like- but it was cool because, like, yeah, like you said, people treat you differently, and it's just facts. This is real talk, man. You know?
dude, I can speak on being a fat kid and losing the
Yeah.
weight. Dude, man, I remember just it was like night and day, man. If you're
Well,
overweight or you're just really chubby,
hmm.
okay, first of all, female attention goes way up when you start to lose weight. They start to laugh
Truth
at,
be told, guys, truth be told.
truth be told, man, look,
Yeah.
females start to laugh at the most dumbest jokes. I mean, I'll say like, dude, a fish on a stick, man. And then she'll just laugh because I'm fit, because I look good.
If a girl's laughing, that's a good sign, guys. You know? That's a good sign.
It's the most dumbest thing. But being a fat guy
Hmm.
back then, you know, I noticed that people didn't really take me seriously. I noticed that people would just kind of like, oh, like he's a background type of person. But once you get fit, as soon as you have the pecs or you have the bicep coming out and the jaw is starting to be more defined, all of a
Mm.
sudden you walk into a room and everybody notices. You command power without even saying anything, dude, and it's awesome. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's funny to me. What comes to mind is when you're working out, you're able to hit a PR that you never hit before, and it's a new phase. It's like you go from like a Pokemon character, right? You go from chart whatever, right? Like you're evolving from level one to level two because of that PR. Like there's nothing that can like replace that type of confidence from going from I couldn't do this to now I can.
Mhm.
Physically, you just challenge yourself. So you already like earned confidence from that, you know? It's
And
awesome.
you the way you get to that point is through discipline.
Yeah, through what you ate, when you slept, because you built the muscle, you did all the things right. You're a performance scientist. You know what I'm saying? You
Performance
did
scientist.
all the metrics, man. That confidence, I wake up with that every day, man. It's awesome.
I don't.
Yeah.
I wake up some days like, fuck, dude. But I have more days where I'm pretty proud of myself. I will say that than days that I'm not. It's usually the
Good, dude.
days where I know I should have done something and I didn't. I wake up the next day not feeling as good.
Yeah.
I think, man, I'm behind the eight ball. But once I start getting back onto the ball again, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
we're good.
Let's talk about that, man. The when you miss something and it throws you off. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens like pretty regularly. Um,
Yeah, for
it's a
all of us.
constant battle of just forcing myself to be disciplined in what I got to do. Like, for example, my lower back inflamed earlier this week.
Oh
And
shit.
so
Yeah, you told me.
yeah, dude, it fucking sucks. I had to take at least, I think it was 3 days off from work and
Bro.
gym
Damn.
and from walking. I
Oh
had
shit.
to just, I had to just like lay down and allow my body to relax and take creatine. I think creatine really helped me. Uh, I digress. Though, you know, at first I thought, okay, well, now I'm missing out on some progress. I committed to doing this 3 mile run
Mm.
walk thing, and physically I cannot do that. And so mentally I'm like, I'm behind the eight ball.
Mhm.
I'm losing my progress. And then a light bulb went in my head. I thought, nah, man, this is just a challenge and an obstacle. This is the shit that life can throw at you.
It
What
will throw you.
What I can do right now is focus on my diet. I have full control over that.
Yeah, you
So
do.
I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. I'm not going to sweat any doubts or insecurities or how I perceive this problem. Instead, I'm going to focus on what I can do,
Hmm.
no matter how small it is, and get 1% better. That's all that matters. 1% better. If you have a goal to get fit, and you've never been to the gym with like for years or at all,
Yeah.
and you go out for a walk for 10 minutes, that's 1% better, man. You should be proud of that. You
Better
should
than the day before, you know?
say again.
It's better than the day before,
It's better
right?
than, yeah, it's better than yesterday. It's better than doing nothing. If one of your goals is to get a promotion, and so you take on an extra task at work that isn't part of your pay grade, but it's just one task and you go home, guess what? That's 1% better because that's 1% more than anybody else in your bracket is doing. That's all that matters. You do that enough times, stacked in enough years, you're going to achieve something that may seem to other people like night and day. When I lost 100 pounds,
So true.
people see that as like, oh, wow, it must have happened so fast. When in my side, I remember all the challenges and all the disciplines I had to force myself into,
Yeah.
but it's completely worth it.
Damn. Yeah, man. I remember when I was injured last year, I had an intercostal muscle strain on my chest, and I couldn't even do any
Mhm.
push movements for like 6 to 8 weeks. I had to literally force my discipline to, all right, I'm not going to do any push movements for 6 to 8 weeks.
That's brutal,
And
man.
the moment I did that, yeah, it was like I am, I'm like, I want to work out. Like I don't like how I don't like the result, right? So
Mhm.
what I did was I was like, no, I'm going to do this for 8 weeks. Not going to do any push movements. I'm going to do everything else though.
Yep.
And then lo and behold, right? Like I started doing just the bar, right, on bench press. And then I was like, wow, this feels great after 8 weeks, Like I followed the protocol. And then I was able to do 135, and then I was back to 225, and I'm back to my, regular scheduled programming, right? 80% of my one rep max, right?
What would have happened if you didn't follow that protocol?
If
This is
yeah,
so like you've been disciplined the entire time. What would have happened if you weren't and you broke off? Like, listen, you did like
yeah.
you
Those
had the
things.
temptation to do a bench press and you did it
No,
anyway.
dude, just look. I like how you said that. When you said I have this temptation, that's the same temptation that when you're going off of your diet or you're going off of your damn meal plan, you're not following the protocol, right? That's the same temptation. The plan was, I said 6 to 8 weeks. Why are you going out there trying to bench press, right?
Mhm.
When the plan was 6 to 8 weeks, I told you, right? That's me talking to myself. So I'm
Right.
like, no, I'm gonna listen and F the temptations, right?
Yeah.
Because this is discipline, is destiny. If you want your destiny, then do the damn protocol. If you
I
don't
mean
want
that
this,
that just shows how strong your mindset is,
yeah,
brother. Because you have that internal dialogue that eats up at you, when you deter from the direction that you say
Yeah.
you're gonna do.
So yeah.
That I think is a muscle.
Yeah.
It's actually I'm gonna paraphrase this, but I was watching a podcast, a different podcast about these neurosurgeons talking about this part in your brain that grows when you do more discipline. You force yourself to have more discipline, and it recedes when you give in to the resistance. And what that is I consider it willpower. It's probably considered a different term medically. But
Mhm.
it's your willpower. Think about all the times that you have to wake up in the morning super early when you don't really want to. You do that enough times, you feel like it's a normal day to you. You just get up. That's just something that you do. You don't even think about it anymore. But in the beginning, having to wake up at 4 in the morning man, it may feel like you have low energy. You don't want to do it. You want to stay underneath the covers. You want to get some more Z's, and you just want to just relax. And so
Yeah.
there's more resistance there. The more
Yeah.
discipline that you do, the greater your willpower becomes, and
Yeah.
the longer you are able to do the things that you know that you should be doing.
Yeah. Your life is so much better when you do disciplined things, delayed gratification, as
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
Like you teach a kid delayed gratification, they will be successful. I hear that so many times. Um, I remember growing up, man, I taught myself delayed gratification like at an early age, man. I remember I was that 10-year-old kid listening to classical music, man. Weird.
Right on.
Like I remember I would be in my room just by my be in my room by myself listening to
To
this like
Mozart.
listening to this CD and I would just like think. Like I don't really think a lot of 10-year-old kids are doing that. And I just thought myself as weird. I was like, what the fuck? Why this was cool music, man. You know,
Hmm.
and, like it taught me um like delayed gratification would be like, I'm gonna go do more than my peers around me, you know, because it's the cool thing to do. But I'm gonna do the opposite. Another example is like I remember when I was introduced to fitness, I didn't initially take protein powders. I initially was like, why do I have to take protein powders? Why don't I just eat real food?
Yeah.
And then also, why do I need to take pre-workout? I remember when I first started bodybuilding, I'm like, why don't I just take caffeine? Or why don't I just I always try to find the alternate to the well-trodden path
Yeah. Yeah.
and everything, you know?
It
I don't
sounds
know.
like
Yeah.
you have a very curious
Yeah.
and explorative type of mindset. And what I mean by
Yeah.
you see the straight and narrow path and
Yeah.
you think, why?
Well,
When
how come?
you
Yeah.
have all these other ideas, like it could be done this way, it could be done this way, it can be done this way, and I still get the same result.
Yeah, that always intrigued me. I was like, yeah, as a personal brand, it's like, why
Hmm.
do people say you can't run and build muscle at the same time?
Yeah, that
You
makes
can't.
no sense.
But what do you mean? Like, yeah, it was just weird.
Why you can't run and build muscle?
Yeah, a lot of people say that, and then they make that their reality. I was like, wow, interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when people
Sure.
have these beliefs where they just follow whatever society
The
gives to them,
crowd. Yeah.
and they don't think to themselves and figure out for themselves. And that's why Stoicism and the philosophy of why we're reading all these books by Ryan Holiday, that's why it's so important, is because it teaches you that there are other perspectives to view the world, and whatever is given to you
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
isn't always this is like my way or the highway type of deal.
Yeah.
You got to think for yourself
Yeah.
and figure out what is right for you.
What is right for you? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
When,
like those. Yeah. I like
go ahead. Go ahead.
stoicism because it's fundamental. It's like first principles thinking. Like, what do we know is true, and we build from there. That's from Elon Musk. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Look at the facts, build off of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. When you mentioned the running and building muscle,
Mhm.
it, that is such a fallacy,
It's a myth, man.
such a myth. I was running 15, 20 miles and going to the gym, and I had a lot more muscle mass on my frame. I was about 180 pounds and 12%
Yeah.
body fat, and I was benching, I think at the time I was benching 285 pounds,
And it's weird, right?
running
Like
15 miles.
you feel smaller, but you're actually stronger. I've
Yeah.
been in that realm too. I remember I was like, why am I? There's a lot of people that are smaller, but they're way stronger. Makes
Yeah,
no sense, dude. I love that.
I know this one cat. Well, he's a shorter guy. He's an amazing football player back in high school, and the dude's yoked. His story is
Yeah.
coming from like really skinny, skin and bones to being jacked, and
Yeah.
he's a strong dude. I don't know what he's doing right now, but shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
But yeah, man, it doesn't matter what cardio you're doing, you can still fucking build muscle.
He defied the odds, man.
Yeah,
Like, oh man, I look up to those guys. I'm like, how? Great. Let me know what you're doing, man. That's good. Heck yeah.
yeah, dude. I had So when I was a fat kid, I had this belief that abs were for superhuman people.
No way.
Yeah, like it was so far out there for me that I
Hmm.
couldn't even fathom thinking that I could achieve that. It wasn't until I started using discipline, getting 1% better, as in like going to the gym more often, staying in the gym longer, doing more cardio, start working on my diet, just all these little building blocks until I got
Yeah.
abs. And then I looked at myself with a six pack and I'm like, oh shit, I'm still a regular ass person.
Yeah. With the same like belief systems, right?
Not anymore.
In a different way though. Like, yeah,
Everything changed. The
yeah,
way I saw abs and people with super fit bodies completely changed because having done it and achieved it, it makes me look at people with super fit bodies as like they're not superhuman. They're
yeah,
just very disciplined. They're very strong-willed people.
yeah,
That's what they are. And I had to figure that out. But being a fat kid, fuck, no way. If you went back in time and told me, yeah, you're gonna have abs in like 3 years, I'd be like, dude, you're smoking crack. There's no way, dude. I had such a huge gut, but
Damn, that's crazy.
it came from those building blocks, having the discipline, uh,
Yeah.
going through those nights of being hungry.
That's a great thing that you said. People are they're just way disciplined. They're just normal ass people, but they like discipline is destiny. They just have these metrics that they hit all the time, and they don't like negotiate with those metrics that they have to hit. You know, the 9, 8, 7, 9 hours of sleep, the protein, the wow, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But they built that. I think like that's the point I'm trying to make is that they built that through small steps.
Yeah.
You can't just, if you never worked out before or if you never had a philosophy before, you
Hmm.
can't expect to have a philosophy the next day and decide I'm going to have a philosophy of this. Because guess what? You're going to get new information that's going to conflict with what you currently believe in. And you may not even think that that philosophy is good for you anymore. So would it be worth continuingly keeping that philosophy, even though you have this information where it's like, you know what, I sort of don't believe in this? Or is it more worth using that information, understanding where you're at, and building off of that? It may be even building your own philosophy than just using the
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
main philosophies like Stoicism.
Yeah, you're right.
Stoicism is a fact. It's something that exists. It's a way of life. You don't have to be super regimented in believing in Stoicism, but you take the majority of what it actually means, and you incorporate it into your own life for what you deem is useful. Not everything is going to be useful, and so you gotta figure that part out for yourself.
Yeah. 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 Take what is useful and leave what is not useful. Yeah. So true.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I live my life, man. I
Yeah.
look at everything and I think about everything. I'm actually just like you. I like to listen to classical music all the time. I'm
That
not,
shit's nice, dude. That puts
dude.
you in a different state of like being. It's so weird, dude.
It
Like,
puts me in a state of focus, I've found.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Uh,
calming, it's interesting, it can be complex.
yeah.
It's not like too erotic like how rock music is. When I listen to rock music, don't get me, I'm a huge rock fan.
Rock music.
Huge metal fan. But I can't listen to rock and write, for example, because
Yeah,
then it's just too distracting.
yeah, yeah, man. I love film score music too.
What's
Uh,
that?
scores in music. So score is like for film,
Mm.
any type of film, and then the background music.
Like the
The
soundtracks?
music that they make for motion picture soundtracks. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Those are pretty dope.
yeah. I mean, because the whole point of a movie is to evoke an emotion and to make you think differently. So,
Yeah.
and when you go back to that soundtrack from the film, you're back in the film. You know?
A good example is Jaws. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun. We think, oh, fucking great white shark.
Oh, yeah, watch out.
Yeah, man, people who make those soundtracks are extremely gifted people.
Yeah,
Um, they just have an ear for music. And
yeah. And they
which,
have a theme too. Yeah,
coming from me, I play the guitar.
me too.
Um,
Yeah.
I've been playing for the last 4 years. I think it's going on 5 years now. I play the acoustic and electric. I had a band at one point.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, nice.
I know what it takes to be somewhat good at an instrument. And so when I say that they're gifted, I really mean that they're gifted in the way of
Oh
how
yeah,
they discipline themselves to learn
dude.
something.
I love that.
Not gifted as in like they were born musically. That's not how it works.
Yeah. I connect very much to those music artists, man. Like when they can see like the notes, between those notes, between those notes. It's like,
Yeah.
did you hear it? I'm like, no, I didn't hear it. What do you mean? I heard it.
The vibrato, dude. The
Yeah. Did you hear it?
vibrato.
Like, how do you even know? Like, for example, when people put out music all the time, they're very consistent with it.
Mhm.
Dang, dude, I respect that. That's like, how do you put music out so much all the time, like all the time? Like every summer, it's you're the hit, you know?
Mm.
Like, I was just looking at Drake, for example. Like he always puts out music all the time, like consistently over a long period of time. It's difficult. I don't know how. It's good, man. They're really into their craft.
I heard this is a line from Lil Baby, and he said he didn't have to sell drugs. He put his craft in the rap instead, and now he makes millions of dollars. Um,
Yep.
and
It's
I
weird.
think it's the same. I think it's the same with Drake. I think it's the same for a lot of top artists. Is if you truly listen to the music,
Yeah.
most of the times it's really retarded. Like what they're saying doesn't even make any sense. But they have the enthusiasm behind them, their passion, and you can feel the music.
You could feel from their music who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I believe that music in of itself really teaches you how to feel through things and to invoke emotion and bring passion. When I'm playing my guitar, man, and I'm not really like I'm not playing scales. I'm just playing. All of my playing comes from passion. I'm just feeling the music, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds right. That sounds wrong. This sounds pretty good. This sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. And then you have a music. You
Yeah.
a whole start to end.
Did you teach yourself like guitar or did you like learn
I
or
did. Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool how I started playing guitar. So I used to work at the sports bar restaurant. I would get out really late and I would smoke a wood. A wood is basically a tobacco leaf with weed in it.
Hmm.
And so I would smoke that while listening to music. This one night, probably 1 in the morning, I was listening to Chop Suey by System of a Down, one of my top bands.
Yeah, I like them. I love chop suey.
I was like halfway through the wood. I just remember hearing
Oh, that riff. Yeah, yeah. At the end.
I remember hearing Darren Malakian's guitar, the strings. Like I pictured the drums over here, I pictured the guitar over here, the bass over here, the singer over here as individual, and I just really honed in on the guitar. I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. I want to fucking learn that, dude.
So you
So
learned it?
the next day, I went down to my local music shop, picked up a Squire, I still have it, picked up my first amp, still got it, and I've been playing ever since. Literally haven't put it down since that day.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the music that called you. It reminds me of that Jack Black movie.
Dude, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the music called you, man. Yeah, I taught myself guitar too when I was in middle school, I believe. Yeah, I just wanted to learn guitar, man. In the 2000s, it was when I was in middle school.
You play acoustic or electric?
Uh, Both, it doesn't really matter. They're all like same thing to me. I mean,
Right on.
but the electric, you can actually wind it a little bit, like the
What do you
little
mean?
pitches and stuff with the electric guitar.
It's somewhat, yeah, it's
Somewhat
easier.
the same, yeah. A little
Yeah.
easier, right? It's kind of like auto tune in a way. That's what I see it. Acoustic, electric is like auto tune for acoustic.
Auto-tune.
In a
You know,
way.
electric acoustics too.
Yeah, they got electric acoustics. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah, I
pretty
have an Ibanez in my closet that I'm
right
trying
on.
to minute. Yeah.
Dude, that thing's ancient by now,
Yeah.
huh?
I remember having to change the guitar strings all the time. Just like sometimes they would just start popping
Mm,
randomly. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I was yeah.
I got looking at it, I got four. No, I got five guitars. I have one Mitchell acoustic that I got from, well, my uncle actually just gave it to me. He originally bought it for my cousin, but she didn't end up playing it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. The
Mitchell.
got my Budweiser Fender that was given to me by my old bandmate. He had it for a while and he gifted that to me.
So
It doesn't play good, but it's just for decoration.
Fenders, why are they like that?
Not well, Fenders play pretty good, just not that one. Um, the third guitar I have is the Ibanez, which I decided to retire. You know, it has brand new strings on it. I cleaned it up, but the neck itself is warped. And so like it rings out when it shouldn't ring out. That one was also given to me by the owner of the sports bar restaurant I used to work at, my first job. It used to be his son's, but his son, as a teenager, grew up, never played it anymore,
Yeah, yeah.
30. And so he gave it to me. And that thing is like, man, that thing's probably older than me, honestly. Then my first guitar is the Squire. Still love it. Name's Jocelyn. She's just chilling over there. And the newest one that I got was actually for my wife. She got it for my birthday, and it's a 1960s Les Paul Gibson.
Jesus, you got the Gibson?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she beautiful, man, and she plays just how
I
you
love
imagine
Gibson.
it. Yeah.
Gibsons are the epitome of electric guitars I've heard from the time I've been in the guitar world. I
If you ever go down to a Guitar Center, you should try one out.
have, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Hey,
game changer, fucking game changer.
nice, dude. And then the epitome of like acoustics, I feel, are like Taylor's.
Like what?
Taylor guitars.
Taylor's.
Yeah, those are acoustics. They sound very nice.
Oh yeah, nice. I only have a Mitchell, man. I don't even know what a good acoustic sounds.
Oh, jeez. I was the acoustic guy, man. I loved acoustic guitars. Yeah,
Right on. So you play a lot of rhythm.
back in the day, dude. If I pull up the guitar, I will remember how to play something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just taught myself. Yeah.
Why what prompted that? Was it like something that you saw someone else play, or was it just
Well, in the 2000s, rock music was very in, so just like wanted to pick it up. Yeah. During lunch, during middle school, we would always play guitar, and
oh, that's sick.
yeah, it
You're
was
you're one of those guys, the guitar guy, the guitar kids.
yeah, the guitar guy and also the athlete and then the student dude. Yeah, it was everything. I was
Fucking
cool with everybody, bro. Yeah,
package.
yeah.
Right on, bro.
I think music is great for, I mean, everyone should learn how to play music. I mean, especially children, because it changes their brain. I've heard so many times about that.
Yeah, it does. It also increases their cognitive
Hard
ability.
abilities.
Yeah,
Left
they
brain, right brain, right?
so why is music so important? And I think it really comes to the details.
Hmm.
It to play an instrument, to learn how to play an instrument, of course you have to have discipline to continue to play it
You can
through
show up. Yeah.
the suck, basically. My
Yeah.
first 3 months playing the guitar, horrible, horrible. You would have heard me, you would have told me, put the guitar down, man. It's not for you, it's not for you, bro. The
That's how it
second
is. Yeah.
the second thing is it teaches you hearing. It teaches you how to hear music, not just like listen to music, but to hear it. And I think anyone who plays music understands that you hear music differently because you've trained it. And so it teaches you how to, I think it teaches you how to listen to tone a lot better.
Mm.
When people are talking to me and I'm having a conversation, it's easy for me to pick up on their tone and to find out exactly where they're at. And so I can meet them there.
That's crazy how you say that.
I would
Yeah.
say the third thing is it creates a sense of confidence and secureness in who you are because you have something that you do that is unique to you. So you can share that with other people. That is also important because if you don't have that, you don't have something that you do or a hobby that you have, so to speak, you may feel like, what's the point? You would have that type of attitude.
Yeah. I think when I started playing guitar, that actually made me a better listener, like all the time. Like I always find myself just listening. I don't really say that. I mean, I say a lot, but like, um, yeah, I'm able to listen a little bit deeper to,
Mhm.
when I was in journalism back in high school, I remember I would write these, they're called covers in the journalism world before the internet.
Mhm.
They're called covers of people. My professor would bring in somebody,
Like a bibliography?
no, not a bibliography, like well, yeah, kind of like you would have to create a story off of a person that comes into the classroom and create a story. You would have to create a story, like
Really?
on paper. Yeah, bibliography in a way, I guess.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It was like you would have to really listen intently and deeply about their story and literally let them speak. It's basically I was training sales, at like 16, but
Mhm.
I didn't know what sales was really. So professor would bring in somebody and they would talk about their life, some type of struggle they went through, and then
Mhm.
I remember everybody would have to write a story about this person.
Yeah.
And my professor always he would use whenever he would use my writing for the class, it's like, yes, what's the next one? Let me do another one so that he can use it. He just kept
Recognize.
using my stories, which was good. And that was just the competitive side of me. It's like I want to make this person shine on paper.
Mm.
And that's what really helped me, I think, into like leadership and mentorship and starting this podcast in a way too. Because every story is like is created.
Yeah.
You see you see the struggle that they're going through, right?
Mhm.
And then you make it them. You show them what their struggle is, what they can be. You know,
It kind of sounds like it's a more evolved version than your journalism, since being,
yeah,
writer, you write your cover and that's what's read to everyone else. But now you're able to actually be the person guiding them through that story.
yes, yeah,
And it's much more impactful.
yeah. Because every struggle is there's stoicism in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's stoicism everywhere we look. I also believe that, life is a mirror, not a window. So whatever you believe, you're going to be seeing that. So I think that's also important to be aware of.
very aware.
You don't want
Yeah,
to you want to be aware of your biases. And stoicism helps with that. When let's say I'm having a confrontation with something or a conflict. I look at that and I realize what's going on inside my body. People say to take the 2 seconds or pause for 2 seconds before you say,
Yeah, in the books. Yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing. The same thing.
Yeah.
This podcast, the reason why I enjoy doing this podcast with you is because we're able to help and guide people to think independently, to become more disciplined so that they can get the things that they want in life.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is why you got to follow it, man.
I mean, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, please subscribe and show your friends. The more exposure, the better. If you like and comment, it's going to boost us to the algorithm, which is only
Hmm.
going to help us reach more people so we can help more of you guys.
Yeah. And it's going to let us know, like, to keep producing content or not,
Or,
or pivot.
or pivot. Not we're never going to stop making content.
Yeah, what the hell?
Never gonna. We're just going to improve. And
Yeah.
by the comments that you guys, put down and the feedback that you show, it'll tell us what we need to do as far as improving, and or pivoting, like what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Talk to me about there's this concept, right? The reward for success is more work. How do we navigate through that?
The Say it again.
The reward for success is more work. The reward for doing your work is you get to do more work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, think of it this way. When I lost 100 pounds and I got to, let's say, my lowest was 165 pounds.
Yeah.
Just because I got to 165 pounds doesn't mean, okay, I made it. I get to eat like shit again. Because then I'll just gain back the 100 pounds.
Hmm.
But what it does mean is now that I'm at that state, guess what? I still got to continue the way that I'm going in order to keep putting
Yeah.
that down, to build the muscle. And so I think that's what you're trying to say, is that the reward for success, once you achieve something that you've always wanted to achieve, you're at the bottom of the next hill, brother. The next mountain is right there looking down at you.
Yeah, it's so much more enjoyable though, because now you unlocked a new level, right?
You also have the memory to look back on what you achieved.
Yeah. It's like an enhancement.
Yeah.
When you're more disciplined, you have more that you can achieve because you just did it. You just did the previous one,
Mhm.
like unlocking a new PR. Um, you know, for example, for myself, I've been tracking all my lifts since 2021 when I started my own fitness app,
Oh yeah.
right? And when I see these numbers, I finally saw the maximum one rep max PR go above like 5 pounds.
There
I
you
was
go.
like, wow, it took that long for it to just because this calculator, the algorithm
Mhm.
calculates all your weights and then it estimates a one rep max.
Mhm.
So,
Have you ever done a 1 rep max?
no, yeah. What do you mean like one rep max? Like a
Like gas out that 1 rep, the highest weight. I mean, like bench press, for example. You did
yeah, I
the
mean,
max amount of weight that you
well,
could.
yeah, yeah. Well, my estimated one rep max is always like when I say estimated, you want to like put yourself into the magisterial a little bit, 5 pounds, maybe 10 pounds above that. So, um, yeah, I've tried the one rep max for bench press. Yeah,
Yeah. What do you like? What's your takeaway with that? Because
yeah,
you're mentioning that you use a calculator, so I'm curious. Like, do you think the calculator is more beneficial than because what I do for my training is I do a one rep max, and based off of that one rep max, I go based off percentages.
Mm,
So it's somewhat similar to how you're doing it, but you do it a little bit differently. So I'm
yeah.
curious about your takeaways.
Yeah. So how I do my 1 rep max for something is I'm like, okay, I input all this data and then it spits out my estimated 1 rep max. And then I do percentages off that, like you said, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I just like to insert all the data and then it just spits out what the estimated 1 rep max is. Because
Okay.
yeah.
So
But
then,
my point is though, is like if you input all this data, like data is better, for me.
oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, that's how you're going to progress. Segueing back to your main point about how reward um,
Mhm.
from success is just more work. How does
Yeah.
that correlate to your lifts?
All right, right. Yeah, I mean so the moment you get into like the moment you pass for me, for example, so my 1 rep max for squat right now is like 405.
Damn,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, 405, like 406, something like that. But for a while it was like 390 and until I started inserting more like okay, let me just like try to bump it up a little bit here. Let me just try to bump it up a little bit here. Let me just try to
Mhm.
bump it up a little bit here. Like and then all of a sudden, randomly, the fucking thing went up to 405. And I was like, okay, the calculator's doing its thing, you
Right?
know?
Yeah.
So I have not squatted with 405, but that's my estimated. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. And I would need a spotter, definitely. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. So like to get back to my point is like the reward for more work is more work.
Kind of
It's
sounds
like,
like if I can interject real
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
From what it sounds like to me is that your one rep max by the calculation is 405. But because it is 405, you're going to have another goal to hit 450. And so it's just more work. You've achieved
I
this,
want more work. That's the thing.
but it's
Yeah,
more work that you're going to have to do
yeah.
to achieve this
But
other
I
thing.
want that. That's the thing. The reward for more work is more work. It's like I want to excel more. I want to do more. I want to do more. That
Yeah.
is such a great reward. That's a gift. Like I'm thankful for that. Like because how would I get to the next goal if I don't accomplish this goal right now? So that's what
Mhm.
I'm trying to say. Yeah.
The reward to success is more work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the next level, you know? That's
Yeah.
how I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree with you, man. I mean, just recently I hit a PR of 315, three plates on bench
Yeah,
press.
I saw that.
Yeah, dude, it took me 5 years to get to that point. I remember being in high school and barely being able to hit 225 and thinking that I'm the shit. I'm like, man, I hit 225.
But
I'm
the
the man.
yeah.
I'm the man. And then
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
years later, I'm like, all right, I'm at 250. I want to hit 315. Then I hit 290. And then try to go for 295. Fucking failed. Got injured. Had to go, basically from
Yeah.
ground zero backed up to what I was doing. And once I hit 315, my goals changed.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. It's more work. And so it's more opportunity for me to get better. After
Yeah.
after I had hit that 315, my goals changed to body fat percentage. So now
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
shifted from doing weightlifting as a priority and
Yeah.
cardio as second to doing cardio as a priority, weightlifting second. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm probably lifting
Yeah.
2 to 3 times a week now, and the rest is just cardio. That's it because I'm
Yeah.
just shedding down as much body fat as I possibly can. But the
Good.
the work is the reward. You have another
Yeah.
goal. This is
Yeah.
something that you're going to achieve anyways.
I think when people hear the work, the reward for work is more work, it's like, ah, fuck. Like that's the initial thing I think people would feel. But like when
It depends on their mindset.
yeah, but a lot of people's mindsets in fitness are the oh fuck. I've seen that all the time. But like if you think about it, guys, when I say the reward for work is doing more work, it's like it's what more can you do? What
Yeah.
more is possible for you? That's where the that's why like yeah, that's what I get from it. It's like what else is possible? You know? Because once you subject your mind to something that you've never done before, you're just like, what's next?
Everything in this world is up for grabs as long as you're willing to take it.
Yeah.
What I mean by take it, I mean you take not just the achievements, but you take the responsibility and you hold yourself accountable to being disciplined of the things that you need to do. Small steps, eat right, work out more, read more books, study more.
Yeah.
You can achieve it.
Yeah. The reason starting this podcast with the book thing is because I feel like if I had a problem, I need to read about that problem to learn
Mhm.
about it. Like courage is calling. Like I think that was a perfect segue into like
Oh,
stoicism for us
dude,
because
perfect.
you
Yeah.
probably had like some courage issue, like something that you wanted to like enhance in your life. So you were like, let me go read this book about courage, and then you become it. So for me, I wanted to do discipline of destiny. I think I was having like a discipline problem, man. So I was like, let me,
Mhm.
and then it changed. It changes when you go through a book. I'm telling you, you're going to think differently. Like at the end of this book is like a story. It's like you're going to be somebody different after it. So highly encourage like read
Mhm.
along as you actually watch this podcast. I highly recommend.
I think it's also important to note that you have to embody what you're learning from these books.
Yeah.
If you just read the book, you're not going to get much out of it. And so
Good shit.
when I read Discipline is Destiny, or when I read Courage is Calling, I took it upon my own to embody the teachings from what I understood in my own life, how I can move and walk in my own perspective with what I now know, with the information that I got, rather than, oh, this is a pretty cool story. That's it. And just put it away and you live the same life. Then you're not going to change. You're not going to grow. You're not going to actually absorb the information that you could. With discipline is destiny, I see myself becoming more disciplined as I continue to read this book. It's phenomenal, dude. It's
Yeah.
so good. One thing that I've been doing, I really don't have to be doing, but I decided that my wife and I are gonna wake up at 3:50 in the morning and go on our walk. We're just walking. Sometimes we do a jog or a run, just depends on how our bodies are feeling. But I wake up super early to do that because it disciplines me to wake up super early and it makes
Yeah.
me more committed. It gives me more time with my wife, more time to for us to talk, just spend time with each other,
Very good. Yeah.
create the time for other things. And sometimes if you, in order to create that time for the things that you care about, it requires a level of discipline.
Yes. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. Um, I don't know what came to mind, but like compartmentalization. Have you heard of that word before? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think leaders have to like compartmentalize their lives
Mm.
a lot and like separating work from like
Could
organize.
you could you unpack that for me?
Yeah, like for example, like salary versus hourly guys. I always hear this from hourly guys. They're like, we just get paid hourly, you know? But then salary is like you're always on, right? You have to organize your time, compartmentalize
Yeah.
this task, this is that task, right? I mean, you're a manager, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the way I think of like salary versus hourly, I think with hourly, there's some benefits because if you work overtime, you get more money.
Mhm.
There's that incentive. With salary, salary, at least where I work at, if if someone's salary, you're required to work 50 hours,
Mm.
required. And those are not overtime hours. It's just a flat rate. Um, and so for me as a manager um, for me as a manager, I don't look at it as a problem. I think that's what's important. Some
Mm.
managers do look at it as a problem. I don't,
Okay.
because to me, what matters more is being a leader
Mhm.
and helping out my employees. And sometimes it's just being able to delegate these tasks
Mm.
to the hourly guys to be able to do it. I have some employees, and like I mentioned last time, is that right now I'm just in this phase of just kind of watching how things
Cross training,
are.
right? You're trying to,
Yeah. Just
yeah,
figuring out the politics and all that good stuff. Uh,
the the maneuverings of everything, right? How
yeah.
does this thing work right now?
So that I can bring out the best in people. That's the main reason.
Learning.
And I've noticed that there's an employee that's an entrepreneur. So we have entrepreneurs who take on the risk to build the business. And then you have intrapreneurs who
Wow.
don't want to take the risk, but still want to have the responsibility of completing heavy tasks and being accountable for them. Those people are like gold in fucking.
Mm. So they're leads in a way. They're
They're
like, lead-
they're better than leads. Leads can help to a degree. Entrepreneurs takes on the responsibility and accountability as the business owner, but they don't want the risk. So they're willing to stay late. They're willing to help you with everything.
supervisors.
They're willing to go above and beyond, way above the pay grade, but they just don't want the risk.
So what does that mean? What does that make them then? Like a supervisor or like, what do you mean?
No, I mean it could just be just some
Oh, it's like the way they work then.
their work ethic. Yeah, they're entrepreneurs. I learned that
Mm.
from another book that I read called Your Five Next Steps Business Strategy by Patrick Bet-David. And
Okay, okay. Sick, dude. Yeah.
so there's this table that shows um, the business strategy is to figure out what type of business person are you, or even
Mhm.
if you are a business person.
Mhm.
And it shows this table of how these employees, one's entrepreneur, influencer, marketing, it really it describes like what these titles do and what matches to you.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to kind of see that in my employees. And I noticed this guy. I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. Because he already knows what to do. I don't even need to tell him what to do. I just check in with him, which is literally awesome. Because I got a whole bunch of other things
Yeah.
I got to do as a manager, anyways. And
Yeah.
so when I check
Yeah.
in with him, he tells me like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk with my other employee because they're figuring something out." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Once you guys finish talking, just let me know what you guys decide, just so that I'm in the know." I'm not going to be micromanaging you. I'm not going to be like, what are you guys talking about? Because I trust you. And I believe that your work ethic has shown for me to trust you with that much freedom. Other employees just want to get there, do their job, get a quick paycheck, and leave. And you got,
Right.
and you got to identify those guys too.
Identify.
Yeah, like they're not bad people, they're not bad workers or anything like that. It's just okay. I understand that you're just here for money, and as we all are, right?
Yeah, we're all here for somebody who's gonna, yeah. Mhm.
Right. So that allows me, um, it gives me information of how I should navigate when delegating my tasks or helping them. Because maybe they already know what to do and they do a task and that's all they do. I'm not going
They just do a task, right?
They just do a task, and that's what they do. They've been doing that for a while. I'm not going to force them to do something else unless I really need to.
And then the level of skill of how they carry out that task.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
like another, in. in like another in-depth thing of how they do it. Yeah, dude, it's like chess. Sounds like you're dealing with like some chessboards, bro. Yeah,
I
no,
love chess, man.
I
I
love
love
chess too, dude.
yeah.
I love chess, especially when you beat somebody. Fuck yeah.
Especially when you crush them, you fucking win.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I got you, man. You weren't thinking right. Ha ha.
No, no, it's funny. That's great. But it is like chess, man. You're
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out because it's not checkers. I think we
I
all
hate
heard that
checkers.
term, like you're playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
With checkers, here's how I think of it. In a real life situation, checkers is like you're moving too fast without completely thinking through your moves.
Hmm.
In chess, you're strategizing and you're figuring out three, four, 5 steps ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grandmaster chess players think 15 moves ahead.
Yeah. They've seen it before, time and time again, because they practiced it.
They practice it, they've done it for a while. Dude, those guys
What I
are
love about it.
insane.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Just take a moment just to think. Think of your current situation and the thing that you're going to do right after listening to this podcast. Okay. Now try to think 15 steps ahead from that point. That's how grandmasters think.
Yeah. I'm already on the next episode type of thing, right? Okay. I already know the next ep series of episodes for month June. I already know how to do the task. And yeah, damn, that's great. I like that.
Dude, man, I'm constantly working. I'm not there yet at reading 15 moves ahead, but I got a good four or five,
Yeah.
4 or 5 in there.
Wow. Hey man, that's great. Yeah, we delved through a lot. Can't wait to
Yeah,
review all this. Yeah. Okay.
it
Yeah.
was, it was one of our better podcasts.
Yeah, dude. See? Sharpen the blade.
Dude, you know what I think really truly helps? Um, I hit the gym before this. I did
Yeah,
some
dude.
tests. I did like 3 exercises. I did
Your home gym, right? I saw on your story. Or is that outside gym?
no, so I got a home gym and like down south, but
Good.
this was just at my regular gym. I did
Good.
incline
Okay.
press, side delts, and pec deck. That's it.
Oh shit.
I feel phenomenal right now,
Yeah,
dude.
3 workouts. That's good. That's like 30, 45 minutes.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. But it wakes me up. It wakes me up, keeps me focused because
Dude, you got to pump.
having to fight through the pain,
Yeah.
it makes me feel ready.
Yeah, dude. Shit. A new philosophy for me in the gym world now is like I started with bodybuilding. Now my next move is mobility, right? Like
Mhm.
mobility, flexible mobility and capability. Um so a story is as you know my mom, right? She has ALS. She's on a wheelchair, right? I'm able to carry her in and out of the car and
Mm.
I noticed like how easy it is. So
Yeah.
crazy because she can't move her legs or her arms,
Mhm.
right? She can only talk. And when I can carry her out of the car, there's this method of how to do it. But in the beginning, I really like was failing at it, so my brother had to show me. But now it's just so much easier because I'm deadlifting. So it's like when I'm deadlifting and I'm going to the gym, I'm doing it for her. So it's like it really
Good,
helps. You know what I'm saying? Like
good man.
carry this, carry her out of the car and stuff. Yeah.
That's important. That's
Yeah.
important. You reminded me of this meme. I think people have seen this before, but it's like it's in this flood. So there's a flooded town, and there's this soldier carrying a woman with a child, and in front of him is the dad who's overweight, has the hat and holding the shoes. You don't want to be that guy. You do not want to be that guy for your family. That guy sucks.
Oh,
That man, I fight internally. I fight with that guy every day. I'm like,
good.
this is for my family. This is for the people that I care about and love. I'm not going to be the
Yeah.
fat piece of shit.
Yeah, dude. Imagine there's an emergency preparedness situation. Oh my
Precisely.
God. Do you have the cardio to get people to pick up something? You know? It has to be bigger than that. That's how man, it has to, you
If
know.
there's a goal for every family man, it
Yeah,
should be
dude,
this.
you have to, bro.
If there's a goal for every family man, it should be this. Be physically fit enough to carry your family, your wife, and your kids if a disaster ever happens. If you're not strong enough, guess what? You're going to have to rely on another guy. Some other dude's going to be carrying your family. How is that going to look? How is that going to make you feel as a man who's supposed to be the pillar of your family? Be the man strong enough to hold up your entire family and be the stone strong enough to hold all their emotions. Be a good man. That's how you be a good man.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to be able to pick up your family and you realize you can't right now, then you got to double check where your standards are and where those metrics that you're hitting or you're not hitting. And if you're not hitting those metrics and you're not doing the nutrition preparation or the sleep preparation, the recovery preparation, the
You really
mobility
ain't doing
preparation,
shit.
you ain't doing jack, right? Then you got to really check yourself. Do you want somebody else to be carrying your family through that flood? You got to learn how to swim too, right? Emergency preparedness is all situations. So you got to really think, do those things, guys.
There you go. Do those things. Have discipline. Discipline is destiny. It's meant to free you. It's not meant to be a cage. A lot of people think that discipline is something that locks
Oh
you down,
yeah,
keeps you away from pleasures and
talks
luxuries
about
of
that
life.
book.
And dude, honestly, it's the complete opposite.
The opposite.
You discipline yourself, I can guarantee you that you're going to have uh, much more good things happen in your life. And what I mean by that, if you
Yeah.
discipline yourself to let's say you discipline yourself to go out for a walk or a run every single day. Well, now you have the strength and willpower to have a much stronger regulation that when your emotions start to come in
Mm-hmm.
for whatever conflict that you're having to deal with, you're able to stand level-headed.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have discipline, if you are all over the place, you don't have a structure, or regimen, or schedule, you may feel like life is just happening to you and you're just moving and you're flowing back and forth. But when you have discipline, you are an immovable object. Nothing can move you
Yeah.
unless
Yeah,
you decide
exactly.
to be moved.
That's so true. Yeah, people think discipline is taking away, but it's actually giving you freedom, right? But the problem with freedom is it gives you too much freedom to do other things. And if you don't have the discipline, it'll expose whether you have discipline or not. So this goes back to my, I don't know who said this, guys, but there's this like cycle, right? Strong, hard times create strong men. Do you remember that phrase?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
You remember how it goes?
so hard times create strong men create good
Yeah, yeah.
times create weak men create
Hard
bad
times.
hard
Yeah.
times.
And then the cycle repeats, right? See, I already
Yeah.
knew you knew it, right? So that sucks.
Pictured I pictured Joe Rogan like
Yeah.
saying that to me.
Yeah. So that sucks, man. It's because that that's true. Like that's what the discipline is destiny for the section um the physical, right? The
Yeah.
exterior, the body. That's like the first step into handling that cycle of hard times create, right? That thing.
You know, it's actually interesting if you really start to pull it apart. Um, if you're having, if this is the good times, right?
Yeah.
You're a man out there and you're having a good time. Maybe that you're playing video games. Um, you don't really feel the need to be super ambitious or to achieve certain things, and you're absorbing the fruits of the labor of the generation before you. Then if that saying is true, which I believe it to be so, that would mean you are creating the hard times for down the road for your own family.
We have to like always remember, man, that these good times, it's Because if you always like as a man, especially if you always feel like if you're always looking forward to the good times, like the weekend, it's good, man. It's good. In the book, it even says to slow down, like slow down to go fast, right?
Yeah, fucking
But
slow down.
yeah, but like, sorry, man. Sorry, the bad time's coming, dude. Like, it's just gonna happen. So if you're not prepared for it, then you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I prepared. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I was ready for that opportunity.
Dude, there's so many opportunities that I see that I look back on some of my decisions and I'm like, dude, if I had just done this thing, I would have been prepared for that. In my
Yes.
own life, I recognize those opportunities. But at the same time, I don't allow those opportunities, those missed opportunities to hold me
Right.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people hold themselves to that anchor. They think, well, oh man, if I had just done this for, a couple years, I would have been so great. But now I can't because, now I suck or whatever
Yeah.
you're telling yourself. It's like, dude, you didn't do it. Let it go. It just happened. That opportunity wasn't meant for you.
At that point, yeah.
There's going to be a better opportunity coming. Just trust, relax, give yourself the grace that you need. Don't don't be anchored to your past bad memories. You're good.
Yeah. You're good, bro.
You're good, man.
Good,
Just
bro. Just
relax.
yo.
Keep a
Yeah.
level head. Keep a level
Yeah.
head, man. To every guy out there, keep a level head.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause
dude.
that's your most powerful weapon, is your mind, is your articulation, is the way that you perceive things. That is your most powerful weapon. Your body is your second most powerful weapon.
Yeah, going on to that, man. The next part of this book is about the mind, not just the body anymore.
Is it really? I didn't get that far.
Yeah. So part two is called the inner domain, which is inside your head, the temperament, which are your feelings and your emotions and how you think about things. So that's
You
part
wanna
two.
you wanna read that part two excerpt? That'd be pretty
Oh,
dope.
shit. All right, we'll just read it. We'll read it and then yeah. So part two, the inner domain, the temperament. What man is happy? He who has a healthy body, a resourceful mind, and a docile nature. Thales. The body is just one vehicle for our self-discipline. History is replete with talented people, athletes, creatives, executives, who had complete command of their physical form but were profoundly a mess everywhere else. It
Mm.
doesn't matter how much discipline we exert over what we eat or what we wake up if we are riven by distraction, at the mercy of biases or bad moods, given over to temptation, impulses, or instinct. This is no way to live. In fact, this intemperament condemns a person to never reach their full potential, with perpetual misery as a possible chaser. True self control means moderation, not just in what we do, but also how we think, how we
Mm.
feel, how we comport ourselves in a world of chaos and confusion. If anything, these traits matter more. An observer of Franklin Delano Roosevelt once quipped that the man had a, quote, second class intellect and a first class temperament. Given what disease took from Roosevelt's body, the truth of the remark is all the more illustrative. Temperament is everything. Our head and our heart combine to form a kind of command system that rules our lives. Millions of years of evolution have combined to give us these gifts. Will we command them as tools, or will we let them languish, allowing ourselves instead to be jerked around like puppets? You decide.
Dude, I'm looking. That's man, that's so good. That's literally what we were just talking about. I
Yeah.
haven't even read that yet. That makes it even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I can't wait for that one.
but yeah, that's a good point. Like I just mentioned, your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. Your body is second. If you have, there's a saying that says if you have a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy body. Um, and to get a healthy mind, you actually have to have a healthy body. So if that's a place where you need to start, you should probably start there. That's how I
Yeah.
started. That's
Yeah.
being a fat kid. I did not have a healthy mind. I was
Yeah.
very low self-esteem and I was very damaging to myself, self-sabotaging to myself. It wasn't until I fixed my body and became healthy that then allowed my mind to grow and blossom. And so if right now you are not having a good time in life for whatever reason that you have, try to get healthy, aim to get fit, and watch how that changes your perspective. Because it changed mine and I know it can change yours. Every single one of you guys are more than capable of achieving anything that you set your desires on. You just have to be willing to have a little bit of discipline, a little bit every day to get 1% better. This is
Yeah.
your accountability. Stay accountable, stay responsible, be a good man.
Do it. All right. Let me boom. End this right here. Fantastic.
Peace out.